Hello everyone, Jacob here. In the last lesson we talked about how to say 뭐뭐뭐한 or 뭐뭐뭐하는 척하다 in English by using one of these structures to pretend to verb or to pretend that subject, verb, object. And if you haven't watched that video, please go down here, click this link, watch that video first, and then you can come back and watch this video. So today we're going to talk about another way to say 뭐뭐한 or 뭐뭐하는 척하다. You can either use these structures right here or even this one right here, but there's another structure that you can use. You could also say to act like and then a full sentence, or to act like and then a noun. And this can also mean 뭐뭐한 or 뭐뭐하는 척하다. So let's go ahead and look at our example from before. Sometimes I pretend to listen on the phone, or sometimes I pretend that I'm listening. All right, so if we take that example and we change it a little bit, then it means the same thing basically, except we're going to be using this structure instead. Sometimes I act like I'm listening on the phone, all right? And this will pretty much have the same meaning as sometimes I pretend that I'm listening, or sometimes I pretend to listen on the phone, except here we're using act like plus a full sentence, all right? And in some cases, we're gonna be using a noun, or there's other ways to use this structure. But I just wanted you to know that, basically there are two options. Either you can use pretend or act like, all right? This actually has a second meaning though. The first meaning is 뭐뭐한 or 하는 척하다. The second meaning though is more like 뭐뭐처럼 행동하다. Okay, and in some cases, 뭐뭐한 것처럼 행동하다. All right, so we're actually going to focus more on this meaning today, rather than go over, 한 or 하는 척하다 again. So let's go ahead and look at some new examples. If we say, my friend acts like, my friend acts like he's always right. My friend acts like he's always right. The meaning is actually a little bit different than pretend, all right? He's not pretending, he's acting like. So this has more the meaning of 뭐뭐처럼 행동하다. And in this case, it would basically mean 친구가 항상 옳은 것처럼 행동해요. All right? So in this case, it's more the second meaning. But we're using the same structure. My friend acts like plus a full sentence. All right? So let me just underline that to show you that that's basically how we use it. All right, so let's look at a second example with a noun this time. Don't act like a child. Don't act like a baby. Don't act like a child. Sometimes people say this if someone is complaining or someone is whining, someone is doing something like that. This is kind of a good expression to remember. Don't act like a child, or stop acting like a child. In this case, the meaning is more like 애처럼 행동하지 마. All right? So here we're using act like plus a noun. And there's actually one last way that it's commonly used, this act like. If you want to use it with an adjective, actually we don't say act like, we just say to act plus an adjective, all right? You can just say to act and then an adjective directly after. And in this case, my example is I act sick. I act sick when I don't want to work. I act sick when I don't want to work. 일 안 하고 싶을 때 아픈 것처럼 행동해요. All right? So here, instead of using act like, we're actually just using act and then sick, which is an adjective. All right, so that's basically how we use this structure, act like. Keep in mind that it can have two meanings. Often, actually, both meanings are very similar. Like in this case, I don't think it really matters which one you say or how you translate it. Whether you use pretend to or act like. I think most people will understand. So you're just going to kind of understand this probably from the context and the situation. All right, but sometimes it's true that it's more or less the same. All right, so I hope you understood that. I hope it wasn't too confusing, and I will see you next time.